President, I move that the motion as printed on the agenda be passed. Insurance fraud has become out of control. It involves compensation, employees' compensation, and motor vehicle insurance. It has become a syndicate run. It involves notary, doctors, lawyers, very huge network. Insurance companies are forced to increase premium because they've been suffering losses, and as a result, owners, employers, vehicle owners, taxi drivers have to bear the cost. Let me give you an example. A motorcyclist was met with a traffic accident, and he was on sick leave. And when he was on sick leave, he continued to use his motorbike, and there was another accident, and he went to another public hospital. And as a result, he was granted 2 separate sick leaves by 2 public hospitals, and he's paid by 2 insurance companies. The sector knew about this and reflected the case to the administration. However, the administration said that it's because of privacy, we're not going to look into it. And sometimes insurance companies will send out detectives to investigate. There is a case when a worker who claimed to suffer from industrial accident appeared with a brace and crutches. When he saw the doctor afterwards, he put everything away. A video clip was sent. However, the hospital authority said this involves the privacy of the patient, so they will not look into it. The HA neglected, turned a blind eye to the problem and their mistakes, and this is ridiculous. There's another case. It's a newly joined bus driver. A few days after he started work, he slipped and hurt his back. And he was granted 2 years of sick leave by a private doctor and public hospital. However, he was assessed to suffer only 5% of incapacity. He made a claim for $6.5 million, including a loss of future income, $3 million, and loss of amenities, $500,000, and overtime pay $630,000. And I think that he's asking for too much. The case was heard in August last year. The court said that the injury was not too serious, and the person malingered and lied. So he was given only $350,000 in compensation. However, he's already received $590,000, and he does not have to spit that out. Of the numerous fraud cases, a lot of them are difficult to detect. It's difficult for the court to decide, and before you get a result, so you have to pay lawyers. Recently, there is an insurer who dealt with industrial accident case. This 30-year-old has claimed 8 times because of industrial accidents, and he's been granted sick leave 8 times. Perhaps he's been on sick leave longer than the times he's worked. I think he's become a claim expert, and he's received a large amount in claim. There is another claim, a claim for $320,000, and there's a counter offer of $270,000. Once legal aid was granted, that person immediately asked for $3 million. In the end, he got hundreds of thousands of dollars, but the insurance will have to pay legal costs. That's in the tune of hundreds of thousands. I've pointed out a number of times that there are loopholes in the law, and in a way it has fueled shamedy and maintenance. With legal aid, the client can choose lawyers, and with shamedy and maintenance, they would persuade the person to make a claim, so that in the process they will receive a lot in lawyers' fees. But with legal cost and the claim, sometimes, and legal cost and cost pay in the process, there's only 1/3 that is received by the person suffering the injury. In 2004 to 2013, there are a total of $2.8 billion by the industry in relation to employees' compensation. So 280 million a year. In 2009, the premium was 4 billion, and in 2013, it's increased to $6.7 billion, 47% increase. However, insurers have been suffering losses, so they have to increase premium. Those who take out insurance become losses. Those who engage in insurance fraud gain. A couple of years ago, certain sectors encountered difficulties in taking out policies. Say, for example, catering, scaffolding, construction, etc. And very often, insurers will have to be extra careful when dealing with these sectors. And they encounter difficulties when making huge claims. For transport sector, insurers have suffered loss for over $12 million. Premium has increased from 2009, 20,000 to 40,000 this year. So everyone loses out. Last year, the legislative set up a joint committee on issues related to insurance coverage for the transport sector to look into measures in excessive issuance of sick leave note and exaggeration of injuries, etc. The hospital authority has turned a blind eye. However, the police is quite positive in its response. It's tasked the CCB to look into it. Not long ago, a case was cracked. It involves garage, insurance agents, and it's suspected that over 10 insurers have been deceived. And I really commend the police work, and I hope that the scope of investigation will be expanded to, say, employees' compensation insurance, because this will affect workers, and it involves the biggest amount in claim. The amount is astronomical. They should not turn a blind eye. Otherwise, the number of cases will continue to increase. Insurers will become ATMs for these culprits. If you do not tackle the roots of the problem, no matter how hard the police work, it will be to no avail. So I suggest that there should be an interdepartmental task force to pull the efforts of the privacy commissioner, social work department, police, etc., so that these frauds can be tackled. There is an important role played by the hospital authority, because those people involved, they will first get sick leave. In this joint subcommittee, there has been a detailed discussion about issuance of sick leave by HA doctors. They've explained our difficulties, but it's very easy for doctors to issue weeks or months of sick leave note, and it can last for 2 to 3 years. That is indeed problematic. They should take reference from overseas experience that if the leave is over several months, there should be a review mechanism. If doctors find it easy to grant sick leave, sometimes those who are suffering from genuine injury will not get proper treatment. The police should enhance their effort to combat such frauds, say, for example, using agent provocateur, and to target a syndicate-run network. Well, we have a positive data bank in the financial sector. However, when it comes to insurance sector, there is no such data bank. These people, they can cheat the insurers one by one. There is nothing we can do. We hope that the administration will set up a central claims data bank. This will be a deterrent. And it sometimes involves a notary, these cases, but notaries are not regulated. It's really problematic, so the administration should regulate notaries as well. Under the SWD, there is a traffic accident assistance scheme to help victims. The intentions are good because if you made a report and you have seen a doctor, then you can make a claim, and they can get government insurance as well. So the SWD should review their vetting mechanism to make sure that it will not be abused. Under the employees' compensation mechanism, there are loopholes, and as a result, the fees have been increasing. The LWB should tackle it. If these frauds can be combated, then the crime rate will decrease and premium will drop, and everyone benefits. Thank you.
Chairman, President, thank you. Mr. Lee's motion is amendment is to urge the government to set up the Central Employees Compensation Fund and to reduce the fake claims. I understand Mr. Lee's sentiment, but I hope that Mr. Lee will understand that the rehab scheme that he's talking about is being undertaken by the insurance sector. Now, this would only help those who are minded to rehabilitate. Even with the Central Compensation Fund, those who are minded to a swindle will not be taking part.
We have seen a large amount of examples. What is baffling is that if we do not resolve this problem, private insurers will have to suffer hundreds of millions of dollars. Then the setting up a central fund will be more bureaucratic than the private sector, and it will be more costly. And why would members ask for the administration to do it? Well, Mr. Lee Chuk-yen said that it will be easier to control premium. Is it fair? Is it proper use of public funds? You might not notice that there are tens of thousands of agents providing services for labor insurance or transportation labor. With a central fund, you still need intermediary service. The cost will still be there. Otherwise, you have to employ a lot of people to provide the same service. So don't think that this will solve the problem, because you still need people to provide the service. And every place is different. And in Hong Kong, we have a statutory compensation, we have a common law damages, so you can get two sums. And in other places, you don't really have it. In Singapore, you can only choose one, and in some overseas countries, it's even more simple. So there aren't many there is not much room for maneuver overseas. If it works overseas, it may not work in Hong Kong. With so many fraud cases, if you ask the administration to take it up, I don't think it will. Having said that, I hope the administration will study it. Compare the centralized system and a private system to see if there's a big difference. If a centralized system is good, then I welcome it. But I know it's impossible because cost will be higher. We work very hard to control fraud cases, and this is what we see. Well, if it's the administration who is doing it, I think they will not be bothered, and the premium will increase and will hurt Hong Kong. They won't work as hard to combat fraud cases. I do think that with the central compensation system, even when I'm not wearing my FC hat, it will not work. Setting up this central system will not combat fraud cases. Mr. Lee did not elaborate how it will help. So with this central fund, perpetrators will continue to make use of the loopholes to cheat more money. And the central fund will be their ATM, and in the end, taxpayers will foot the bill. So I will not support Mr. Lee Chuk-yen's amendment. Thank you.